What's up everybody, welcome back to channel CodeX. I'm your host Afzal, and in today's video we're gonna talk about null safety. So in this live stream I'll be talking about different topics inside null safety, how to use it, how to migrate your project, and a lot of other cool stuff. So make sure you watch entire live stream and share with your friends as well, that if they have not joined yet they can join. All right, so I'm doing live stream after like couple of weeks or maybe 2 weeks, right? I was busy with something else which I will tell you later. Maybe in month of April I have some good announcement as well. So let's see how many people are joining, from where people are joining, then we can start and hit into null safety, right? And to be specific, what is sound null safety, right? So those things we are going to discuss in today's live stream. The topic is null safety for the viewers who have just joined right now, and I'm just having an initial look like who is going to ping in the first message. Vishwajit Vaichal is here. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Good evening, how are you, brother? Vishwajit is our continuous he's a regular viewer of channel CodeX, so big shout out to you. Let me know guys from where you guys are joining, and we're gonna start in couple of minutes, and the topic is null safety. And before we start, I just want to understand from your perspective, what do you understand with null safety? Have you ever worked with null safety? What is your idea about null safety? It is a feature, or is it a platform, or is it just a way of programming? So what do you think? What is null safety? Before I answer that, before I explain how it can be beneficial for your program, I just want to know from my viewers what they understand from null safety. Hello Pranav, hello Vicky, welcome to the live stream. Big shout out to you guys, thank you so much for joining. Vicky Gidvir has joined from Pune, thank you so much. I have done my engineering from Pune, so good to hear that we have a person from Pune. Great. Yajid, welcome to live stream. Good night from Indonesia. So are you going to go to bed or what? So welcome from UAE. All right, Manish Prajapati is here. Hello, how are you doing, Manish? Thank you so much for joining today's live stream. All right, as I have said that today we are going to talk on null safety, and I think we have a good number of viewers. So just answer quickly in the comment section, what do you understand with null safety? And then we're gonna hit into the topic detail, like we're gonna discuss everything, how you can migrate, whether you should migrate or not, whether you should use this feature or not, and how it can benefit you. So all those things, whether like a lot of people assume, okay, let me just keep shut now and understand from you guys what you understand with null safety. Write down in the comment section right now. Hello Manish, you're from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Welcome to live stream. Nikhil, hello, how are you doing, Nikhil? Nasir Mahmood from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Nasir, how are you doing? Great, so we have good number of viewers. Sibley is joining. You're the reason I know CodeX and I love it. Thank you so much for the nice feedback and comment. So today I'm going to talk about null safety, and hopefully you will also enjoy that topic and you will implement in your next project. All right, 3K developers, walaikum assalam. Vishwajit Vaichal is asking a question: will null safety, Dart finds potential null errors in your code? And the answer is yes. And for that you have to do something, so which I'll tell you in a moment. It creating lots of problem with while running old version of project. So Prajwal Jade is saying it creates a lot of problem. So yes, it's true that it creates a lot of problem when you're migrating your existing project and without upgrading, or if you're upgrading also, then also a lot of places your code will break, and whether you should do migration or not, that is a question, right? So we're gonna answer all those questions, and we're gonna discuss null safety in detail. Like I'll try to keep this live stream a little bit short, because I'm I'm a little bit short on the time. I have 1 hour of time, so we'll try our best to discuss the null safety and what are the different aspects of it, whether we should use it or not, whether we should migrate our projects or not. Like we will we'll just cover the whole topic in detail. All right, and if you guys request, I can create a video also, short video, 5-6 minute video or 10-minute videos maybe on null safety, like how you can migrate your existing project and how you can do like if you're creating a project from scratch, how you can implement null safety at the first place. All right, so Ali Jasim has joined. Can you make more tutorial about Flutter UI? Inshallah, brother, I'm going to create more and more tutorials on Flutter UI, because Flutter is known for its UI, its flexibility, and you know, that is the most awesome part of Flutter. Of course, we can do all the functionality, all those business part, that is all the platform provides, but the UI, the beautiful animated UI, is the core part of Flutter, and that is what people love about it, right? Can you Flutter Riverpod? Raja Durari, let me tell you honestly that Riverpod is something which I have never touched so far, but I have heard that it's more like what do we call, more like provider. The ideology is same, the concept is same, but they have changed the architecture a little bit, but I cannot comment on that, sorry about that. So Khalid Muhammad has joined. Can you make a tutorial about payment gateway implementation in Flutter? Payment gateway is a very big topic to create inside a tutorial, but of course I can plan a live stream for that. Maybe Razorpay or Stripe payment is something which is globally known, so I'll try to cover that inshallah in near future. All right guys, so we have good number of viewers. I'm gonna start the topic today. Before that, let me play the intro. Perfect. So the first question, what is null safety? Is it a tool, is it a framework, or is it a programming paradigm? Right, so to answer that question in a very short way, like I cannot display that on a screen, but just to understand, null safety is a way of programming, right? So basically with your code you will be telling compiler that this part can be null, right? So first you have to inform something to the compiler while creating your program. Then in rest part of your program, compiler will tell you that you are using a field or a property which can be null. So it works both ways. That is the biggest confusion people have, that they will migrate their program, they will do something and it's a magic or something that automatically everything will be fixed, compiler will start giving you issues, giving you suggestions. It's not like that. So first thing in the place, it's a two-way process. If you're migrating, the Flutter tool will help you to generate all those code for you, but if you are creating your project from scratch, you have to specify what can go null, and that is the best practice, you know, because when you're writing program you actually know what can be null, what cannot be null. Or if you don't know, like if you're not sure about that this part can be null or not, you can just put a question mark. Then compiler will take care, whenever you are using it, it will make sure that you have handled the null situation. And I'm gonna take a very good example as well. Like it's very simple as well as very you know, it just what I can say, it is the best example how a situation of null comes in programming and how we can handle that. I'll not be able to show you in the coding part today, but of course I'm going to create a video on that so that you will understand more easily, but theoretically I'll explain how does it work. Before that, let's take few questions. So Prajwal Zadeh is saying, after upgrading also old version project is not working. So let me answer this question first. You should not upgrade your project unless you are sure about the null safety and like you have enough time to migrate. So suppose tomorrow is your deadline and today you are trying to upgrade to null safety just because Flutter did announcement of 2.0. That's not a good practice. Even like in any scenario, if you're migrating your project, you should at least have a buffer of week or two, because things will go wrong, things will not work as expected. That is, you know, a common practice in production application, common practice in development world, right? So that is the first thing you have to take into consideration, that if you're migrating your project, existing project which you are using for like production level, it's going to be live, you have a deadline, then don't migrate immediately. That is the first thing you have to do. If you are migrating your POC project which you have done for just understanding Flutter, then you should do immediately so that you will learn how to do it, right? That is the first thing. All right, and okay, let's take few more questions so that we can answer their questions as well, and meantime we will discuss about null safety as well. So hero animation is working on emulator but not on physical device. Any suggestion? Just try to run on the release mode, because I have seen a lot of places, even in my application which I show on YouTube tutorial, I was running in the debug mode and the hero animation was literally very glitchy. So don't judge the animation part on the debug mode. Just build your project in the release mode, and the simple way of doing that, you can write Flutter build Android or iOS or web and then run it. Then you will find it how smooth and easy it is. All right, so Ali Jasim is saying, how can I handle null of some map value coming from network? Exactly, that is something I have done recently in my project where I have created this Flutter top 30 Flutter developers, Flutter YouTubers, sorry, not developers. So there I have handled the entire data which is coming from YouTube API, which has all the information of subscriber count, your YouTube link, all those information, and then I'm handling the null safety, because it may happen that some user has not defined the custom link for their channel, right? So that is I'm handling with null safety. I'm going to share that project as well really soon. Once it is up and ready, once it is for public use, I'm going to share that project as well. So you guys might have noticed or went through Taras Petra's channel, where on Twitter he announces top 30 YouTuber who is making Flutter content. And fortunately I am in 23rd rank now, because last week it was 15th rank, and he added more developers, more YouTubers into that list, and we slipped out of the 20 list, and now we are on the 23rd list. So that project, what I did, because I have seen that he was doing that manual job of visiting each channel and bringing all those subscriber count and then preparing the report. So I just created a Flutter project out of that, where I'm using YouTube API to consume the data and calculate all those subscriber count and put the nice presented ranking list for top 30 Flutter YouTubers, right? So that is something where I have used null safety, and it is sound null safe, and how I'm consuming data, everything is there. So I'll share the link also in maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So make sure to subscribe the channel if you haven't already. Okay, so we were discussing about null safety. I just went to the different path. So the first thing, you don't have to upgrade unless you are sure, or unless you have enough time to fix something, right? That is the first thing. And Flutter team, they have provided a nice tool where you can run just a dart pub command to find out what are the package, whether it's compatible with null safety or not, whether you can migrate that package to the another level which is null safety supported, right? So you can go ahead and run that command. And just we are discussing about, because migration of project, I'll show you the slide real quick. Oh my goodness, my iPad is shut because of some reason and I can't switch my screen now. Let me just do it this way. All right, so this is the document which you can follow to check null safety, how to migrate from your existing project, and whether to migrate or not. If you want to decide that, just go ahead and run this command dart pub outdated and mode null safety. It will tell you which package is compatible with null safety and which package is not compatible. Along with that, it will even give you, suppose one of the package is not compatible, so it will give you whether there's a resolvable package or not, like whether there's a updated version of the package available which you can upgrade and then migrate to null safety. So it's really handy tool. You can surely use this package, this command, to find out whether you should move to null safety or not. That is the first thing. Without running this command, don't ever try to migrate to null safety. So this is the first thing, because if your package is not working, your project is not going to compile, you will be stuck. So make sure that you run this command before migrating. And if you're creating a new project, then you're good to go. You just have to make sure that you are on the Flutter 2.0 version and Dart is 2.12 or higher, right? That is the thing which you have to take into consideration. Let me switch back to the camera mode. Yeah. All right. So next thing we're gonna discuss is whether, like we have discussed whether to migrate or not. Now next thing is how easy it is to migrate. So once you start the migration tool, it's going to give you all the places which can be converted to null safety. So because now we are into migration section, like how do we migrate and stuff. So you just hit a command of flutter upgrade, and it's gonna give you all the places which requires that null safety handler, right? And you can decide whether to literally to move that to null safety or not. Say for example you have something very basic which say for example username and password. You know that without null user cannot pass, like user cannot move to the next screen without giving a username. So for that section you can tell the compiler that don't move this username field to null safety. I know that this field is going to be always there, so you can just skip it out, or you can add null safety over there. So that is something which comes auto generated, and you can take advantage of that. So this is all about migration, and now we'll talk about how does it really work, how you can tell the compiler, and what is the real scenario of null safety where you should be telling the compiler that this field can go null. Okay, and before we move to that topic, let's take few comments, and then we will discuss what are the examples, what are the scenarios where you will need to implement null safety, right? So ethical hacker is asking, I know Flutter, should I learn Kotlin now? It really depends what you want to achieve with that. If you have planned to go to the native Android development, go ahead and learn Kotlin. If you are planning to stick into Flutter or other like other development tool, then you don't really need to learn Kotlin. Like it's nothing that you have to hard and fast learn different languages to master programming. If you are master in one, basically you know how particular things work. And it's just matter of syntax when you're talking about programming language, so you don't have to worry that much about learning Kotlin, learning Objective-C, and you should not be mastering all the language. You can anytime use Google or take help of the online resources, and you can just do your work. All right. So guys, if you have any question related to Flutter, related to null safety, make sure you write down in the comment section now, so that by end of the stream I can answer almost all of them. And after this comment section, after this Q&A, this few question and answer session, I'm going to discuss about the example of null safety, how it can save you from getting that red screen or crashing application to a proper handle scenario, right? How null safety can be useful. So Vicky is asking, which college from Pune did you do engineering? Vicky, I have done from Sharad Pawar College of Engineering, which is located in Junnar Taluka. So I hope you know it. Junnar is a little bit far at the end of the city, so a lot of people know it because it's a birthplace of Shivaji Maharaj. So if you know it. All right. Next question, can we run lower version project on Flutter 2.0 version and Dart version 2.12? So to answer Prajwal, if you move Dart 2.12, your compiler will start checking for null. So if you still want to run on the prior version of Flutter, not prior version, if you want to run without null safety, then you can upgrade Flutter to 2.0 or latest, which is fine, and keep the Dart version less than 2.12. You can use 2.78 like that, and your compiler will not check for null safety. So that is the trick you can do. All right, let's take a few more comments. Adam is asking, if you update .sdk to 2.12, I get null safety straight away download again, and most of the libraries haven't. Do you think we should just target null safety libraries from now on? See, majority of the libraries which I'm using, they have a pre-release version in null safety. So like, of course, when we are choosing third-party library, and if you're working on, I keep on saying this, if you're working on production ready application, like you are working for organization, you're creating something crucial, not a POC project, then you should be very thoughtful while selecting the package. So while selecting package on pub.dev, always check that the author of the package is from trusted source or not. And by the means of that, you can check the tick mark, whether they have the tick mark or not, they're regularly updating the package or not, what are the pub points they have, what are the popularity they have. So that way you will have that trust that this people is going to maintain the package in future, and it will not break in your project. So make sure you use proper libraries, but most of the libraries which I'm using in my project is upgradable right away, or they're into pre-release for null safety version. So I hope that answers your question. Can you please, Prajwal is asking, can you please tell me how to downgrade Dart version using CMD? CMD, I'm not sure. How I'm doing currently is going to pubspec YAML file, and there you can see, can I show you real quick? Let me just check if that is available. Pubspec YAML. Yep, it's right here. So I'll share my screen. All right, so you can go to environment and check this SDK. So currently I'm running on 2.7.0. my Flutter is 2.0.1, which is like latest version, but my Dart SDK is still running on old. So that's why I don't get any of null safety issue. But if I have to migrate to null safety, I just have to do 2.12.0. That is the trick I use if I want to migrate between null safety version or the prior version. So that is quick help over there. All right, so we'll move to the example after taking few questions. Let's see how many viewers are watching. Good. Guys, hit the like button right away if you're enjoying this live stream, and you can also contribute channel CodeX by different means. You can go ahead and buy me a coffee, or you can do a super chat, super sticker, and all those options are available, and you can subscribe the channel as well. Right? Okay, this stream is going really well. I'm very happy about this stream. So let's move ahead and take the example where null safety can be very helpful. So of course I'm going to create a video on that, a very short video explaining how null safety can be helpful. But just to discuss the theoretical part, say for example you have a login scenario in your application. Like every application does have the login and user profile. So inside your user profile you have first name, last name, email address, and say for example you have favorite game, favorite sports that the user prefers, right? So generally you will ask for username, you will ask for first name, last name, email address. Those fields will be compulsory, but the favorite game is optional, and sometimes some user provides it, sometimes some user doesn't provide it, right? Now if you are binding on, say for example on profile page, all the information of the user, and you have binded favorite game to the user interface, and that user, when you call API and you get the response, the favorite game is null, what's gonna happen? You're gonna see that entire red screen which says like renderer issue, some pixel went out of like you're gonna get that red screen. Basically that's a crash. Because why it happened? Because your program was not aware that this favorite game can be null. It may happen that some of the user will not provide his favorite game, right? That is but obvious. So that is the situation where null safety will be helpful. You have to tell the program that when you're writing, you know your program really well, you know the business really well, that it may happen because there's no front-end validation, this favorite game is optional, it can come null. So to this property, to this field, you just provide a question mark. Okay, once you provide the question mark to favorite game, in rest of the part of your application, whenever you are going to bind it to the text or provide it to the button, or whenever you are going to use it, the compiler will now trigger that alert that this favorite game can be null. So it will not let you compile the program. So basically what happens, you provide some information to the program that this favorite game can be null. In return, compiler will take care inside entire of your program. It will take care that you are not using this value where it can be null. So basically what you have to do to overcome that, either do a null check. So you can do null check. If favorite game is not null, then show this text, otherwise don't show. So basically it's ensuring that whenever you're using some data, it has the data, it can never be null. So that is what null safety is all about. I hope this question, I hope this example was helpful and you guys understood. If you still have any question, you can write down in the comment section. Now I can see RMNG is writing some comment, how to add watermark in the text field. That's not called watermark, that's called placeholder. Okay, in Android and iOS world. So basically it's a hint, and the way you can do, you have to provide the decoration property. Inside decoration there's a hint text, you can apply that. And I have a nice video on text fill, by the way. If you want to check that, you will find a text fill video in my recent uploads, so you can go ahead and check that as well. Jalal Khan is saying, Jalal Jan Khan, Assalamu alaikum Mr. Afzal. Thank you. Walaikum assalam. I love your content and the way you teach. Please tell us which topic should we learn first to become a Flutter below average developer. Okay, Vishwajit is saying, do you mean hint text in text fill? I think Vishwajit, yes, he meant with the hint text. So Mr. RMN, you can go ahead and check my text fill video where I explain in detail how you can add text, that hint or whatever watermark you call it, whatever left and right icon, everything I have explained in detail. So go ahead and check that video. Now to answer your question, Jalal Khan, what topic you should learn first is layouting, how you can lay out your widgets in Flutter. So basically create a project and try to create real world example. Don't just stick with simple buttons and all those things. Take any application inside your phone, any application like Facebook, WhatsApp, and just try to create one of the component inside Flutter. Say for example, either it's an input box, sending message, button, chat bubble, whatever you see in the, whatever you see in this application, just try to recreate part by part, not entire application, not entire page, just part by part. Try to create it inside Flutter, and that way you will come to know across, like you will come across different components, you will come across different properties which component support, widget supports, and that way you will become master soon, inshallah. All right. So Tech with Dinesh is saying you can now build UIs, learn HTTP request, state management. Sorry, I missed I think something. Adam again asking, can you show the mark trick please? It is same as optional changing in JavaScript. What is it, the mark trick? Question mark trick. Yes, Adam, it works exactly the same way how it works in JavaScript, how it works in C#, how it works in Kotlin, because this idea is already there in all the evolved programming language. They have the null safety from ages, I mean from long time back, but Dart, as it's evolving, they added the null safety latest in their latest version. It's not something coming in the programming world for the first time. It's been there in Kotlin, it's been there in C#. People are not utilizing it up to that extent, but of course Flutter is encouraging people to use the null safety as a primary feature of their programming. Like they should be using it. So Oswu Bright is asking, how can I master Flutter? Should I learn more widgets or what? Yes, of course, you have to experiment with widgets. You can take any example, just like I said, take example of grid, list, card, profile. Just take example and try to learn how to create picture, how to create a rounded image, how to create, button, like that stuff. So just master the widget, master the properties of the widget as well. That will really help you to create awesome UI, and then you can become a master Flutter developer. Perfect. So I hope this null safety idea is clear now. You inform the program that this part can be null, and the program in return will take care whenever you're using it, it is not null. And the way, like there's a different way also while checking. So before using that variable, if you are doing a null check, if you have written the condition, if this is not null, and then use it, then your program will not give any issue because you have already handled it, right? It is smart enough. The Dart compiler, it is smart enough to not bother you on the wrong places. And if you have not used any null check, then it's going to give you issue. And the simple, you don't really need to put that if condition. You just have to mark the question mark, like add a question mark before the property name, and it will do the job. And if it is used in some place where it really needs the data, it cannot be null. So that question mark will not work. So for that, what we have to do is put double question mark, and that will bring the quaternary, what do you call, quaternary symbol, means it's going to check for the null. If it is null, use the other value. So that is something which you can use. All right. Muhammad Adil is asking, I have a question. Muhammad Adil, you don't need to spam the chat box. I'm going to read all the questions possibly. So can I learn Flutter as a beginner while I'm listening? Adobe XD plugin will replace Flutter developer. Tell me the future of Flutter. Can I learn Flutter? Help please. So the thing that Adobe XD will replace Flutter is not going to happen anywhere soon, or it's never going to happen, to be frank, because Adobe XD cannot generate a complete page or complete application. It's just going to give you the prototype. It's just going to help you with generating the widgets. Say for example, you have an circular avatar, okay, and you have an image inside that. So Adobe XD cannot give you that, how that image provider, whether it's coming from the network, whether it's coming from the asset, it's not going to give you the entire code, but it will help you with some decoration, with some properties, with some widget to generate that page. Now it means that you need a developer to work on that remaining part, and it's going to give you all these paths and vector images. So basically Adobe XD to Flutter is just a tool to help you out create your layout easily. It's not the tool which will generate entire page and entire application, all the business logic. So Flutter developer is going to be stay there. There's no job security. There's like nothing that Flutter is going to vanish because Adobe XD is going to generate that. So just relax. Okay, Raj A is there. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Big shout out to you. RMG has again asked a question. After typing any text in text field, want to add parameter text back side in text field. I didn't really understand. Let me just read it out one more time. After typing any text in text field, want to add permanent text back side in text field. Okay, so if you want something which is sticking on the left or right side, that is called, what it is called? It's called pre and post something. I don't even remember, but you can go ahead and check. Let me just help you out with my tutorial. I'll just put link in the description for the text field, and RMG, I'm quite sure that it will help you out with all the properties, and you don't need to ask any more question on text field. I am quite sure about that. Once you watch the video, it's gonna be crystal clear for you how to use text field, what are the different properties, and I'll insist you to go ahead and watch that video first, and then you can ask question still if you have any, right? So let me get the link for you. Come on, where is my YouTube channel? Here it is. Get shareable link. Okay, and paste it for RMNG. RMNG, would you mind telling us what is the full form of your name? What is RMNG? Just out of curiosity. All right, so great guys, this live stream was awesome. If you guys have still any question, if you want to ask anything about Flutter, if you want to ask anything about myself or like any general thing, you can go ahead and ask. I'm gonna close this live stream in maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and of course make sure you subscribe the channel, because I'm going to create awesome videos on Flutter, awesome videos on null safety. I'm going to show you in the code, in the project itself, how the null safety works, how you can utilize this feature to make sure your application doesn't break with null value. So for that, it's very easy. You just have to subscribe the channel, and YouTube will take care to notify you if you press the bell icon, right? So Raman Goyal, right? This is much better. Why you didn't keep Raman Goyal as your name? So Raman Goyal, this is a link for you where you can go ahead and check text field, and you will come across each and every important property you need to create awesome awesome application. All right, Ravindra Yadav, please tell you Hindi. Okay, Muhammad Adil, what should we learn to become full stack Flutter developer? Yeah, you need to learn the Flutter first to become full stack Flutter developer. And Firebase, I will suggest, just make you know, a little bit fun. Firebase, you can learn so that you know how to integrate Firebase APIs, you know how to integrate Firebase auth and real-time database notification, all those stuff, and of course a basics of API consumption, REST API consumption, how to work with HTTP, GET, POST, and all those things. So that will make you a full-fledged developer. Raman, you can contact me on Discord server. You will find link in the description for the Discord server, so go ahead and join there, and you can write in the Flutter channel or general channel whatever question you want to ask. So Amit Singh is asking, I have a question that what would be average salary for Flutter developer who have 1 year experience? So brother Amit Singh, the salary part totally depends on which country you are living and which country you are working. Like basically it depends on the place where you're going to do the job. For US, of course it's going to be much higher. For Middle East, you will find on an average. For India, I'm not sure, it's going to be below average, of course. So it totally depends on the place you're working. Ravindra Yadav is saying, मुझे Android सीखना है. Brother, I don't have any tutorial dedicated for Android Studio, but of course you can learn Android with Flutter, and you can subscribe the channel for more awesome videos on Android and iOS. Amit Singh is again asking, can I say I know Flutter and Firebase, then I can say I'm a full stack developer, or should I know how to create API? Amit Singh, you don't really need to know how to create API. You just need to know how to consume them, how to work with JSON, how to work with APIs, how to get them, how to post data. And that should be enough for your Flutter front-end development part. If you want to become full stack developer, like full stack has really like no definition. Basically, from my perspective, nobody can be a full stack developer. You can be expert in something, but not at all, like not in all the platforms at one go, right? So that is why there's a specialization in backend, there's a specialization in front end. Of course, you can have some knowledge about that, but for me, what full stack means, like you are able to work with the database guy, you're able to work with the designer guy, you have understanding of all the system. That for me, that is the full stack. It doesn't mean that I'll go and create an API. Of course, I'll never do that because that is not my expertise. Creating table, creating the mapping of tables, creating the parent-child relationship in database, that's not on my expertise. So I don't think that we should be really focusing that. Whatever you do, you should have expertise in that, and that will really lead you a great success in the future. So tell me about your next schedule to go live. Muhammad Adil, I have like a weekly schedule on Saturday, but due to some reason, sometimes it gets postponed, sometimes it gets delayed, sometimes I just don't post it. But yeah, weekly I come once live, and I try to upload video also weekly, but sometimes I fail to do that. Okay, Birzat Rana is asking, how many hours a day do you learn to achieve the knowledge you want? So learning, like all right, so if I have to answer straightforward, there's no fixed hours you can give. You just have to give challenge to yourself that today you want to achieve this part. Like keep a short-term goal, keep a short challenge for yourself, take a small part, small UI or something, and then just challenge yourself. You want to achieve that, and no worries, even if you are not able to achieve, if you're trying for it, if you're Googling, if you're finding some documentation, you're coming across a lot of information that is very helpful for your knowledge. So just keep a small goal, try to achieve that. If you're not able to achieve that in one day, do it in another day, no worries, but just don't keep that mentality of while doing it. While doing, you just try your best, you search best, like you do your research the best you can, and just try to achieve it by end of 1 hour or 2 hours. If you're able to achieve, that's well and good. If you're not, you have gained a lot of knowledge. Trust me, by researching something, if you find it or you don't find it, you gain a lot of knowledge. You read something, it will not help you, it might not help you at the same moment, but you will come across later in your future something which you will relate to that thing, that yes, I have read this thing, this is how these particular things work. So that is really helpful. You just keep short-term goal, short-term target, you want to achieve this, and just try to achieve that. If you're able to do that within the time frame, that's well and good. Otherwise, do it tomorrow. All right, so guys, I'm thinking that this live stream is going very lengthy, and it's really good. Like people are joining, people are appreciating in the live stream. I'm getting a lot of comments. I'm not able to answer all of them, but we'll try to extend as much as I can before the prayer time, because 6:30, I think 6:25 is the prayer time. So before that, I'll try to answer all the questions. I'll try to extend the live stream as much as possible, and then we will close it. All right, I didn't even brought a glass of water today. All right, so Yash Kumar is asking, please explain implementing video player using platform channel. So yes, let me tell you that I have used a video player in one of my project, and that is live too, but I have used a video player package which is provided by Flutter team. So I'm just relying on them for that. I'm not creating any custom channel, but of course it's doable. Of course but with little bit of extra effort, because video player is something not a simple control where you'll just pass an input and output like that. It requires a lot of streaming, controlling, and all those features, but it is doable if you do. But what I will suggest, if you want to do with a Flutter like this platform channel, you go ahead and understand how that is done in the native Android and how that is done in native iOS side. Then you will be able to achieve that really easily inside Flutter as well. All right, so Manish Prajapati is asking, will you make a proper playlist to learn Flutter from scratch to master? Brother, I have a playlist from basic to intermediate to advanced level, but the content is like not in, I cannot say it's full-fledged course where you can begin from start and become a master Flutter app developer, because out of my office time I'm taking a little bit of time and I'm just trying to create what I can do my best to explain the people, my community and people around there. But of course you will find a playlist for basic, intermediate, and advanced level where you can find different topics starting from how to create layout, what are the basic controls, what are the advanced controls, how to do animation, how to do integration with API, so how to do this provider package, block package, GetX package. So I have covered most of the topic in Flutter, but as per the series concern, I don't have in that manner. Maybe in future I'll do if I have enough time. If I'm working as a YouTuber full time, then of course I'll do that. All right, so great thing. 52 viewers or 58 viewers are watching concurrently. That's a great thing. So Nitesh Bhagat is asking, I had an app before upgrading to Flutter 2. Now that the app is giving me 17 plus error, how to fix them? So if you're running out of time, as I suggested earlier, that if you are planning to upgrade, and this is true for every situation, not just Flutter null null safety or any feature. If you are running in a production environment, you have a deadline to achieve, then don't take such decisions. Don't upgrade the platform itself, don't upgrade the tools itself, because anytime you do that, because every application is unique in its own way. They have the unique packages, they have the unique scenarios, most of them. So it's gonna break for sure. So if you're creating some enterprise level application, production ready application, so don't upgrade immediately. Wait for a couple of months, do it parallelly, let the production channel keep running like that, and parallelly you experiment out with the new things coming up. You do upgrade, as you said, you have 16 errors, so you just need to go through all of them one by one. You have to provide the question mark, you have to provide the null safety checks, and once you think that this project is up and running without any issue, you just do one cycle of testing yourself, and then you can migrate to your production channel. So that is how things work in even development. Like Flutter also, they didn't release the null safety at once. They were in beta, they were in alpha. So that's how you need to follow. So Raman is asking, when you free, please check your Discord channel. I shared an example. Thank you so much. I'll do that for sure. And guys, you don't need to spam it. You just mark your question or put any emoji or something if you want to really highlight your question, because others should also get a room to ask question, right? Hamza Nasir is asking, I'm a BS student. I want to become a Flutter developer. How do I approach learning Flutter? I cannot give my full time. So first thing, I will assume that you have Flutter installed, because this is something which a lot of people do, that they think they want to do something, but they will not install, they will not try their hands on. So first thing, install Flutter, make sure it's up and running with the hello world example, the counter example, the Flutter they give by default. Once you have that basic example, so instead of counter, you just make a simple thing like that button which increments the counter, you create another button which decrements the counter, right? So for me, basically, that is how you learn programming. That is how you learn any platform. You just do a simple thing and you just understand like how that really works. So you have an increment program where you will find that method increment. You just create one more method, and now when you are copy pasting the same method, you will come to know what is the syntax of writing method, what it returns, how it is incrementing by plus plus. So you can use minus minus. So these all the basic concepts you have to apply, and while applying that you will learn so many things: how to call method, how to like what are the ways on pressed, how you can define on pressed, how you can pass anonymous method. So this is how you learn. Basically you start hello world example, and then you keep on adding small features, and of course it will become a big application one day. So Mika is asking which state management is the best. None of them, literally. Like I've been asked this question a lot of time, and I say that always it's a matter of choice. What background you come from, what is your like programming way, it totally depends on that. Some like provider because that works more on the binding way, that works more on this listener way. Some likes CodeX, some likes block, and other likes set state, right? So because set state you don't really need to do anything, just call set state everywhere. So basically the idea is what suits you best. All are going to give you the same result. Some are of course a little bit high or low on the performance, but you don't really have to worry about that in your initial application. You just try your hands on with all the different packages you have. I personally prefer CodeX because that works more like MVC pattern, and that is what I'm used to. So I can see some notification. Let me see, is it a subscriber or is it okay? Where I can see Simran Yadav just followed. Great, he followed on Facebook. So yeah, I was saying it totally matters what you prefer and what background you came from. So I have done C# programming for more than 7 years now, and I prefer the MVC way, how does work, MVVM way, and that's why I prefer CodeX. All right, so let's take new question, and I think I have 5 minutes left before Adhan being said. How about making a video about how to make a production ready app, best practices? Nitesh, thank you so much for suggesting. I'll just mark your comment as a future video suggestion. That will be a great idea, because a lot of people, they are trying with the demo project, but they don't really know how to set up for a production environment, and they keep they end up changing their package name, they end up changing their lot of settings, and that's a real good example. So I'll just mark it for the future reference where I can copy this. I'm gonna pin this. Perfect. So what else we have today? Can we use Python machine learning script in Flutter app? No, you cannot. Python is like, it's a script, it runs on it requires its own server to run, right? So you cannot use Python script directly inside your Flutter application, but what you can do is create APIs with Python, and that you can consume inside your Flutter application. Have you checked out RiverPod? Adam, I haven't checked RiverPod. Sorry about that. Raihan Abdan is asking what architecture that you use in Flutter. I use MVC pattern. That is the basic flow. That is the basic way of organizing the code. And the architecture wise, like there's no other architecture that I have to follow. The MVC architecture is the best architecture, and the package, if you are asking about the package, I'm using CodeX for a lot of my projects, and I'm also using provider in some of my projects where I don't really want to create all those controllers stuff. So yeah, that is the thing. So maybe a couple of more minutes. We have Ramdeep Swedge. He's asking, can you give me some advice how to get a big companies like Google FB? If you have any advice to me, let me also know. just kidding. Okay, at the moment I'm an intern at a startup working on Flutter and have decent knowledge of competitive programming as well. So Ramdeep, I'll suggest you to keep brushing up your knowledge, keep making good applications, keep making an awesome portfolio, and once you have sound knowledge, once you have a good portfolio, you have a good number of applications done in Flutter, of course you can get to whatever company you are willing for. So like there's no such criteria or like exam or something you can just pass out and you can get into Google or Facebook, but you just have to keep brushing your knowledge, keep producing more and more application, be a part of community, be a part of like YouTube or Twitter, or just keep sharing your knowledge, and one fine day, Google or FB will notice and they will give you a call. All right. So Nitesh Bhagat is asking one more thing, bro. Yes, go ahead and ask. Osu Bright has a question. Can you please do a video on responsive Flutter application? And there's a good news for you, Osu. I have a video on responsive, and there I talk about responsiveness in terms of different alignments. So I have a video, you can go ahead and check that on my channel, where I talk if something is placed vertically in portrait mode, when you switch to landscape mode, how it can come horizontally. So say for example, you have an input box where you want to take user's first name and the message and send button. So these three things are placed vertically, right, inside mobile application. When you go to web or when you go to tablet, basically you have enough room now, so you can put these three things side by side. I don't know whether it will look good or not, but basically the idea is you have some controls, right? In phone, you have less space, so you can place vertically. In laptop or iPad or like any tablet device, you can place them horizontally. So for that responsiveness, I have a video, and I'm going to create more videos on responsive application, where I'll talk about, say for example, you have a list view where you are showing items in the list. So for mobile application, it is fine, you can show in the list, but on the web part or on the tablet side, the list will be too big. Like if you show the list, it will not look that good if you have a very less height. So that how you can convert from list to grid or show multiple items in web and single item in phone, that is the video I'm going to produce maybe this week. So how you can make it responsive so that it shows one item one below the other in mobile and 3-4 items side by side in your laptop or website. All right, so Nitesh is asking, make one more video on test driven development. That's a good suggestion though. So yeah, of course, basically, sorry, when we are creating I'm feeling thirsty, bro. So when we are creating production ready application, it's always recommended to have a test driven application, because when your application grow in size, it's not feasible to test each and everything each time. So you should have a test driven application, and that's a really good suggestion, Nitesh. I'll try to create a video on that. First, I'll try to learn that, because I have never done, to be honest, I've never done testing part on the Flutter side. So how that script works, how we can add on press events and all those things. I have a basic idea, but I have never tried in Flutter. So of course I will learn how to do that, and then I will teach you. That is the way I learn Flutter. Like first, if anybody suggests something or I come across something which I should learn, so first I go through a lot of example, I understand how that really works, and then I create a video so that it adds to my knowledge as well. All right, so probably this will be the last question of this session, because this is going to be a Maghrib time. Ali Jasim is asking how to control app launch first time to prepare data with delay of async and await. I really don't understand this question. Well, let me read it once more. How to control app launch first time to prepare data with delay of async and await. So there's something called splash screen. If you want to load data before your application launches or before you show the first screen, so you can write something inside splash screen. Now splash screen is meant for that, and it should not be more than 4 or 5 seconds. So make sure you have something which returns less than 3 or 4 seconds. So meanwhile you can show some like nice animated screen or video or anything, and in background you can fetch the data with async and await. All right, so I think that's it for this session, guys. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Can you create a series where you go in depth with widgets? Ahmed Imam, I have a video on top 5 Flutter widget where I go in detail, like I discuss a basic of these 5 widgets: row, column, list view, container, and stack. So that is a really nice video. You will come across, like with example I have shown where to use a stack, where to use container, and all those things. So you can go ahead and check that video on my channel, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So thank you so much, guys, for watching today's live stream. I really appreciate you guys for joining, and let's have a clap session for you all, guys. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one with the next video. So make sure you subscribe the video, like it if you have enjoyed, and share with others. And if you want to support channel CodeX by any means, you can go ahead and buy me a coffee on the link provided in the description below. And make sure you hit the like